Do you feel back pain that comes and goes, even without physical effort, without a clear diagnosis, without a medical explanation? Maybe you have already had tests done and nothing was found. But still, the discomfort is there, constant. The truth is that for the chosen ones, this pain is not physical, it is spiritual. And this needs to be understood. Not all pain is disease. In many cases, the body speaks what the spirit is holding silently. When you are someone spiritually sensitive, who carries the weight of praying, advising, listening, supporting, and protecting others, your body feels. And where does this pain appear most frequently? In the back, in the shoulders, where weight is carried. Many people ignore this type of symptom because they think it is common tiredness. But the pain that insists, that appears after an intense dream, after a deep prayer, or after a spiritual confrontation, that is not without reason. It is a sign. Your body is telling you that there is a spiritual burden that needs to be recognized and treated. You are carrying things that are not just yours. You are absorbing pains that others dump on you. You are interceding for lives that you do not even know well, but that heaven trusts you to cover. This has a cost, and the body feels it. But it also has a purpose. And when you understand, you begin to release the burden. Now subscribe to the channel. My name is George, and I speak to people like you, who feel, suffer, intercede, but often do not have anyone to share the weight with. Here you will find living words, direction, and strength. And together we will carry light, not just pain. The chosen ones often act as spiritual intercessors. They pray, feel, and absorb energies that are not theirs. This responsibility brings a silent pressure that frequently manifests physically, especially in the back and shoulders. It is as if the spirit carries a burden that the body tries to bear. And this is not weakness, it is part of the calling. Those who intercede spiritually feel pains that medicine cannot explain. The body responds to what the soul is doing. Many feel this pressure after praying for someone, listening to a deep confession, or being in a heavy environment. The chosen one perceives these burdens even when no one says anything. They feel in their body what others experience in their soul. The back hurts because it is supporting invisible battles. The shoulders tense because they bear the responsibility of protecting others, often in silence. The lower back weighs down because that is where spiritual exhaustion that has not been discharged accumulates. When the intercessor does not take care of themselves, the body starts to react. The pain appears as a shout from the invisible. Many go through the day well and only notice the pain at night when everything quiets down. It is at this time that the body begins to reveal what has been accumulated. Every heavy conversation, every thought that has been absorbed, every emotion that has been filtered, all of this remains trapped in the physical. It is as if the body were a spiritual sponge. And the problem is not in feeling. It is in not discharging it. Many intercessors do not have the habit of praying for themselves, of spiritually cleansing themselves, of protecting themselves. The same gift that connects also carries, and those who carry need to know where to unload. Otherwise, they become sick, the soul tires, the body locks up, and the mission becomes a burden. The spiritual routine of an intercessor needs to include silence, solitude, and personal prayer. It is in this space of communion that the Spirit delivers what is not its own. It is where the cleansing happens. Without this, the body will continue to accumulate weight. And each new prayer made for someone becomes just another brick on already tired shoulders. If you feel this pain, this constant pressure in your shoulders, cervical region, or lower back, know that it is not in vain. This is a sign. It is your spirit calling you back. You are being used as a bridge between heaven and earth. But even a bridge needs maintenance. If you do not take care, it collapses. Recognize your spiritual role. You do not feel all of this for nothing. This pain is the consequence of a calling. But it is also a reminder. The intercessor needs to protect themselves as much as they protect others. No one can sustain the spiritual with an exhausted body. Taking care of yourself is also part of the mission. And taking care of yourself is not selfish. It is obedience. These pains that appear suddenly without medical explanation are not random. They often arise after intense spiritual moments, a deep prayer, a striking dream, or even a conversation loaded with energy. The body perceives before the mind. It reacts to the invisible. It's as if it says, "Something has been activated. Something needs your attention." The body is a spiritual antenna. It picks up what the eyes do not see. When there is imbalance around you, whether at home, at work, or in a relationship, the bodies of the sensitive react. Physical pain becomes the warning. When you feel tension in the shoulders, stiffness in the neck, or pressure in the lower back without apparent cause, look to the spiritual. It is common for this to happen right after a symbolic dream or a restless night. Often the soul travels while the body rests, and what it sees, feels, or receives spiritually does not always return with clarity. But the body translates it. It shows the weight of the revelation. The pain in the back, in these cases, is like a spiritual anchor. Those who are in a phase of spiritual awakening or going through a rise in consciousness often feel pain in specific areas of the body. The shoulders and lower back are the most affected. These points represent symbolically the weight that one carries and the support given to others. When there is energetic overload, that's where the body screams. Sometimes you feel this pain on days when nothing has happened. But spiritually, a lot has moved. You came into contact with a different energy, were in a charged environment, or picked up something from someone close. The body is silent, but truthful. It does not lie. It just wants you to look within. Ignoring these pains is like silencing a spiritual siren. Many insist on seeking physical healing but forget to ask the spirit what is happening. There are pains that no medicine can alleviate because they do not come from the body. They come from the subtle field, from the soul, from the invisible plane that only spiritual discernment can reach. When you feel that pain again, stop. Breathe. Ask yourself, what is my body trying to show me? Remember that you are not always sick. Sometimes you are just spiritually overloaded. The pain is the request for a pause, for prayer, for realignment, for inner silence to hear what the soul wants to say. Healing begins when you understand the origin of the pain. And in the case of the chosen ones, it is rarely just physical. It is spiritual, emotional, and energetic. The body is working alongside heaven to keep you standing. And even when it hurts, it is trying to protect you. It is trying to align you with what God wants to show you. Pay attention to the moments when the pain appears. Write it down. Observe patterns. You may discover that these pains arise just before something important happens, or after a moment when you spiritually served someone. The body is wise, and the signs it sends are never in vain. This pain is an invitation, a warning, a call. It is not punishment. It is care. Heaven is telling you, wake up. Something is happening. And when you learn to listen to this kind of warning, you begin to walk with more balance. The pain does not magically disappear, but you no longer carry it alone. Those who carry a higher spiritual sensitivity feel the environment even before understanding what is happening. The chosen ones absorb what is around them, even unwillingly. Being close to burdened, confused, or spiritually wounded people can provoke an invisible weight that settles in the body and manifests as pain, mainly in the back, neck, and shoulders. It is not exaggeration or fragility. It is empathy in its deepest form. When someone opens up to you, they are not just sharing words, they are transferring energy. And if you are not spiritually shielded or aware of what is happening, your body becomes a reservoir for this weight. The pain that comes afterward is the accumulation of what has not been released. Places filled with conflicts, intrigues, or resentments also leave marks on the chosen ones. You may enter feeling well and leave exhausted, not understanding why. It's that your spiritual field acts like a sponge. It picks up, absorbs, and tries to balance. And when this happens frequently, the body begins to show signs. The pain appears as a result of what has not been discharged. Family conflicts are even heavier. When there are fights, cutting silence, old hurts, the environment becomes charged, and those who are more sensitive, like intercessors and the awakened, feel this more strongly. You try to be the peacemaker, try to maintain the peace, but the cost goes directly to your body. And the first area affected is often the back. It's not easy to carry what is not yours. But because you are chosen, you attract this type of burden, because heaven trusts that you know how to deal with it. The problem is that often you forget to return it, to surrender it to God, to offload what has remained trapped in your spiritual field. The pain then increases until it stops you. The weight that should pass through you ends up staying with you. And this wears you out. It drains your strength, locks up your body, scrambles your thoughts. That's why the chosen ones need moments of intentional purification. They need to clear what they absorb. And this cleansing does not come only with physical rest. It comes with prayer, meditation, energy baths, silence, and fasting. You feel pains that others do not feel because you perceive pains that others do not notice. You suffer silently because you hear what others ignore. Your empathy is your gift, but it is also your weak point. And as long as you do not learn to let go, you will continue carrying pains that are not yours, and that should not reside in your body. Each person who touches you, talks to you, or shares something with you, leaves a bit of energy. This is not superstition. It is spiritual reality. And when this repeats every day, without protection, without cleansing, without awareness, the body speaks, and it speaks loudly, with pain, fatigue, stiffness, and even symptoms of diseases that do not exist. That's why you should observe when the pain appears. After which conversation, after which visit, after which meeting. Learn to identify the sources, not to judge, but to protect yourself. What is yours, you can bear. What belongs to others, you need to surrender. And God has already laid out the ways: prayer, fasting, vigil, presence. Your body is not broken, it is overloaded. You are not weak, you are a channel. But even a channel needs to stay clean for the water to flow. The pain you feel is a clear sign that there is something to be released. Listen to your body, honor your sensitivity, and protect your mission with wisdom. When the spirit begins to awaken to something greater, the body is the first to feel it. Many people report that, before understanding what they were experiencing spiritually, they began to feel pain in the neck, shoulders, or lower back. These pains arise without a clear physical reason. And they are not punishment. They are signs. Spiritual awakening does not happen only in the mind or emotions. It begins in the more subtle field of being and manifests in the body. Pain is one of the first warnings that something inside you is changing. It is not the enemy. It is a signal that your soul is in motion, leaving one place and going to another. The back region symbolically represents what we sustain, our supports, responsibilities, traumas, and also our calling. When the soul is being elevated, everything that is misaligned begins to weigh more. That is why the body reacts. The spine hurts, the shoulders stiffen, the neck locks up. It is not weakness, it is preparation for a new level. Many people, when going through a deeper spiritual process, report feeling the weight of the mission before they comprehend the mission itself. The pain comes before clarity. The body feels before the mind understands. It is as if the spirit is saying, "Get ready. Something is coming. Your journey is going to change." This pain often intensifies when you resist the process. When you feel that you need to change, grow, step out of cycles that limit you. But do not. The body presses. The back pain becomes the reflection of everything that needs to be abandoned, healed, or faced. It is the consequence of the expansion that is to come. At the same time, this pain can also be felt when you are already in motion. When you start seeking more of God, when you surrender to prayer, when you begin a new spiritual phase, the body responds with discomfort. It is as if it is reorganizing itself to accommodate the new frequency you are receiving. It is common that during the awakening, old emotional pains come to the surface through the physical. Memories of the past, family wounds, old grudges. All of this may manifest as back pain, not because the body wants to punish you, but because it is cleansing. It is removing old weight to open space for the new. This process is delicate, but necessary. Spiritual awakening is not comfortable. It is true, and the truth weighs at first, then it frees. When the soul begins to align with the purpose, the body follows. But before you feel lighter, you may feel that you are carrying the world. And you are. Your inner world is reorganizing itself. If you are experiencing this type of pain and doctors cannot find an explanation, stop blaming yourself. Instead, ask, what is God trying to show me? It may be that your mission is being activated. It may be that your next step is approaching. And your body, sensitive as it is, has already felt it before you understand. The back pain, in this context, is not a problem. It is a compass. It is direction. It points to the fact that something important is happening inside you. Do not ignore it. Do not run away. Listen, respect, and continue aligning with your spiritual truth. Because the more you resist, the more it hurts. But the more you accept, the lighter everything begins to feel. Have you ever wondered why, even while living situations similar to others, you seem to carry everything with more intensity? It's because you carry more. Not more problems, but more spiritual responsibility. The chosen ones live with a greater mission, even if they are not fully aware of it. And this mission, although invisible, has a real weight.
The calling that rests upon you is not common. It involves caring for people, interceding for situations, perceiving what no one else notices, bearing what many do not even see. While some go through their days lightly, you feel everything deeply. While others ignore the signs, you carry them in your chest, on your back, and in your mind. The mission of a chosen one is not just to speak of God. It is to live as a bridge between heaven and earth. You become a channel. You become a reference. And because of this, the pressure is greater. The spiritual world recognizes you. Evil watches you. And the weight of it all falls on your body, as if every cell is on alert. This intensity is not exaggeration. It is part of the process. The sensitivity you have is not weakness. It is equipment. God shaped you this way because He knew you would withstand what others cannot. But even the strong need relief. Even the chosen need rest. A mission without rest turns into exhaustion, and exhaustion weakens the purpose. The real weight of the mission appears in body pains, in the tiredness of the soul, in spiritual restlessness. It shows up when you try to sleep but cannot switch off,
It appears when you try to relax but carry the world on your back. It is not drama. It is spiritual. It is the presence of a calling that pushes you every day to go on even without strength. That is why it is important to accept. Your journey will not be like everyone else's. You will have to take more care of yourself, eat better, protect yourself more spiritually. Because your mission carries people. It involves lives. Your peace sustains the environment. Your prayer blocks attacks. Your presence changes atmospheres. And all of this costs energy. When the mission tightens, the body responds. And this is your reminder. You are carrying something important, something that heaven entrusted to you. Do not compare yourself to those who live lightly. They do not carry the same weight. And this is not superiority, it is distinction. Heaven chooses with criteria, and you have been set apart. Many people start by feeling discomfort, a persistent pain in the back, head, or chest. They go to the doctor, have tests done, take medications. But the results say everything is normal. This can be confusing. After all, how can everything be fine if the body is screaming for help? For the chosen ones, this type of situation is not uncommon. The physical body reacts to the spiritual. When the soul is overloaded, when there are invisible battles happening, the reflection comes in the body. It is as if it is the last form of communication. When you do not listen to the signals from the heart and ignore the warnings of the spirit, the body takes the stage, and it does not ask for permission to warn you. Medicine is a blessing, but there are pains that it does not understand. Because they did not originate in the body, they were born in the soul. They are rooted in traumas, in spiritual missions, in callings that have been ignored for too long. The chosen ones, due to their heightened sensitivity, feel these pains more intensely, and often they become frustrated when they do not find concrete answers. If the doctor said everything is fine but you still feel something is wrong, do not be discouraged. Use this as a sign. Perhaps it is time to take care of other areas of your life. Perhaps what is hurting is your dormant mission, your forgotten prayer, your suffocated faith, and the healing is waiting for your action. The chosen ones do not walk alone, but they need to do their part. Seeking spiritual healing is recognizing that we are body, soul, and spirit. When one of these parts is sick, the others feel it. And sometimes, what the body is asking for is just time with God. A moment of surrender, a rest for the soul. Carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders was never God's plan for you. Many chosen ones think they need to bear everything alone. Family problems, pains from the past, spiritual struggles, internal pressures. But the truth is that the mission is only fulfilled with lightness when there is surrender. Relief begins when you stop holding everything on your own. Surrender is an act of humility and trust. It is saying, I can't do this alone anymore, Lord. Take what is yours. This does not mean abandoning responsibility. It means recognizing that there are things that only heaven can resolve. When you trust, something inside you loosens. The body relaxes, the soul breathes, and the pain begins to dissolve. You do not have to wait for the pain to become unbearable to seek spiritual help. Relief is not about fleeing from the mission, but about remembering that it is not entirely yours. You are a channel. You were chosen, yes, but not to live exhausted. You were chosen to be light, and light does not weigh. It clarifies, warms, and guides. Some think that faith is to resist until the end, but faith is also knowing how to rest in God. It is understanding that even in silence, He acts. That even when everything seems still, there is movement in the invisible. When you surrender, heaven works, and what seemed impossible begins to adjust, inside and out. If today your shoulders hurt, if your soul is tired, if the pressure seems unbearable, stop for a moment. Close your eyes. Talk to God. Say sincerely, "I surrender." This simple phrase has the power to open spiritual doors, because God does not want to see you broken. He wants to see you standing, whole, fulfilling your mission in peace. If you feel this unexplained pain, breathe. It is not weakness. It is not an invention of your mind. And you are not alone in this. What your body is trying to say is that something greater is happening inside you. It is a silent but intense spiritual movement. It is the soul awakening to a new level of consciousness. Many chosen ones go through this and think they are getting sick. They seek answers in tests, conversations, and medications, and continue to feel the same. This is because the pain is not in the physical body. It is in the spiritual responsibility it carries. You are awakening. And awakening hurts. It hurts in the back, shoulders, and mind. But it also expands, cleanses, and prepares. Being chosen is not something light. You feel what others do not perceive. You carry what many would not endure. Your presence changes the environment. Your prayer moves the invisible. That's why the weight is greater. But do not forget, this weight has purpose. This pain is part of the process, and the process is a sign that you are being shaped by something divine. The calling on your life was not given by chance. God saw strength where others only saw fragility. He chose you because He knew you would withstand the process and still continue loving, helping, and praying. This is a gift. This is a mission. And the pain that troubles you today may be exactly what will free, heal, and transform someone's life tomorrow. So take care of yourself. Nourish your faith. Protect your mind. Be silent when necessary. The world needs you whole. Your body is not hindering you. It is warning you. Pay attention, listen, and move forward. Because yes, being chosen is not easy, but it is necessary. And you are on the right path.